we're going to do, assuming you folks do what the first group said, we are going to do book two. Uh, those of you who aren't familiar, we have 165 stories from 111 authors in this book. Uh, I'm going to make a decision whether I'm going to tackle it, because this is a labor of love for Bob Babcock doing the work on his own. Um, and it's Tuesday of next week. So if you want to play, do what Skip tells you to do when he sends out a note today. Next one, Skip. As of this morning, we had heard from 64. 50 said, I'll participate. 14 says it's a good idea, but I won't contribute. Shame on you. 93 stories committed. So Bob Babcock is ready to do it. But if you don't come and commit to me, and remember, we are all military people, and your word is your bond. So if you tell me you're going to do it, unless you drop dead between now and July 1st, when I expect to have your story in, I expect you to do what you say you're going to do, because I'm going to commit the resource of myself personally and my business to making this happen. Next slide. And by the way, my wife Jan and my son Mark are already looking at a cover. I'd hope to have it today, but they're too busy to get it. But by the 9th, we'll have that cover so we can show you what the cover is going to look like. Anyway, my original plan is I'm going to do it basically like we did the first one. Let's do it by phase of the war. And down at the bottom in red, you see, we had some excellent wives experiences. If we get enough, we want to have a section from the wives' perspective. And now, if you married somebody 20 years ago who didn't know you when you were in Vietnam, just because you're a crazy SOB now, we don't want to hear that. We want to hear their stories about experiencing it firsthand when they were the one at home wondering if that phone call or that person walking up in uniform is going to tell them that you were killed. So, but we want to get it, so that's a part. And if what I get shows we ought to change the way we lay it out, I'm flexible. I've been a publisher for 15 years. I've done 350 plus books. I've written 10 myself. So just like Kerry King knows the law business, I know the publishing business pretty well. Next one. What I need, I want your author bio. It's the same approach we took to the last book, where I need your name, your unit, your blah, 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 whatever I asked for. I need you to say you got permission to use the story. And keep in mind, you don't give me the rights to your story. You give me permission to use it in this one book. And you can do whatever else you want to it. In fact, I encourage you to pass it out to your veterans group, your college, your high school, anybody. Hell, you got lots of stories to tell. And then I want your edited story. You get it, read it through again. Don't send me a piece of junk. The book has to be in by July 1st, not the book, your story. I would like to have it starting today if you've got some, because the drop dead date for stories is 1 July. This is based on 2019 because I didn't get them until after Labor Day. And I ruined the last quarter of my business by being heads down personally on this book. So I want to start this in now. And by September, I want it behind me. We'll be able to pre-order the books. I think one more, Skip. This you've heard me say so often. And Sue said it, I get choked up when I hear that, because your voice, your words in the book, your unit history, the people that didn't come home to tell their own story, American history, and yourself, for God's sake, don't believe. And I'll tell you, I'm sitting here saying, compared to what General Livingston did and compared to what John Thompson did, I did nothing. But to my family, my unit, my sphere of influence, I'm pretty important to a lot of those, just like you are to the people in your sphere of influence. And all of AVVBA is part of that. So, General Livingston, if you're still on, I'd love to have your story in here. So that's any questions for me?
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
I think in somebody's email, you gave some parameters in terms of the length of the pieces of our stories.
Right.
Could you just run through those again?
Like
no more than 2,000 words or whatever?
No more than 2,000 words, and that's about 6 to 8 pages on a typed, once again, Word. I want it in Microsoft Word because that's all I work with. Okay. But get beyond 2,000, you can cut it back. And if you run a couple of 100, 300 words over, it's not the end of the world. But don't sit here and write your life story that takes 50,000 words, because then come and see me and I'll sign up to do your own individual book. So we want these to be stories, and we want people to be able to read them and go to the next one. And the beauty of this, it covers all branches of the service, every MOS. It covers every year of the war. And this is once again going to be Vietnam. Having something that happened after Vietnam that ties back to that, I like that. George Murray did one about being at the wall and talking to some high school kids. Those types of stories are good to have. I'm open. If you send me something and I say, hey, that's good, I like it, or I'll tell you why this doesn't fit. So, folks, I'm passionate about this, as you know. Look at what's behind me here. I got my unit guide on. I got my 4th Division thing that my son, I can't even know how to, right here. My son drew that for me when he was in 5th grade. So I've been a vet to my family forever.
Thanks,
get off your dead ass and let's get some stories in here. Thank you.
Thank goodness we heard infantry talk.
There you go.
I understand. Look, I'm going to be sending an email out to everybody this afternoon with the information that Bob is going to need in the way of a commitment. He said he wanted the stories by 1 July, but we need to know who's going to submit stories by the 9th of this month. That would be 9 March. So if you're going to do it, please fill out the little form that's going to be in that email and get it to Bob as soon as you can, so he can begin the planning on that book. It looks like we're going to have, if everybody that indicated on the survey comes through with a story, we'll have 50 people and about 93 or 94 stories. So, and you can do more than one if you want to. So, as my friend Larry Seals used to say, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. Also, one other thing, if you don't blow your own horn, somebody will use it for a funnel. So this is your opportunity to blow your own horn. And Vince, do you want to wrap it up here?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Hey, Bob. Bob, all the stories are text only, no images, correct?
Yeah, that's right. Because I can do pictures, but that gets more complex and people send crappy pictures and it's more expensive and whatnot. So text only.